Welcome to another episode of A REVO Perspective. This is MD Revo. Today we're going to talk about, tonight we're going to talk about masculine and feminine governance, which is a good topic. I think that's a good topic. A woman brought some things to my attention and I listened to her perspective and I want to be able to share it with the people. She said she likes the balance of masculine and feminine energy, but as women, she said we need to understand the power in being feminine. She believes that masculine works in logic, structure, and order, and feminine works with expansion, reproduction, energy, and motion. All right. She also believes that they both provide, protect, nurture, but in different ways. She believes that women can both produce resources, but she thinks of a man taking care of the present and the woman for the future. If your woman is for the present moment, she may be thinking about clothes, material gain, essential needs. But a woman that thinks about the future is thinking about legacy, generation, abundance, etc. A righteous man will understand, respect, and abide by the power of a woman in her femininity. Powerful, right? You know what I'm saying? I believe in a lot of what she has said. And it also shows that in her expression right there that women are truly more powerful than men. If the man thinks in the present and the woman thinks in the future, which one is more powerful? Thinking about the future or thinking about like what's right now? If you look at a lot of households, women save money for a rainy day. And it's not to say that men don't do it either, but it's saying that women really think about the future because as a leader, you have to think about the future of your nation. As a leader, you have to think about the future of, of the children. You have to think about what the children is going to eat and how you're going to clothe them, weeks from now. That is a powerful mind to think about what's ahead instead of just thinking about like what's right now. So that's important when we think about feminine and masculine governance. Now, over here at Revolut, we believe that masculine and feminine energy doesn't have a specific job when it's being empowered by godly energy and is aligned with each human's God-given purpose or their mission. We don't believe there's gender roles. When the energy, we believe that when the energy has freedom and independence, it can flow godly, right? And into any directions where it's most needed in order to solve problems and create solutions and cures. See, masculine energy, it also thinks about the future, especially when it comes to structure and order, and when he's building things for the family union like generational wealth and future children. Like I said before, it's like men think about that too now. It ain't just just women thinking about it. I believe that women think about it probably more, maybe depending on the situation, depending on the household and the human beings that's involved in this. Um, the feminine energy is extremely effective when it comes to logic because a lot of males are emotionally impulsive when it comes to making decisions, interacting with other women, and protecting their families. You know, this is what I'm saying is it's true. If you really look at it, a lot of males will get mad about something and then they'll go shoot somebody, like just off of impulse because they're mad at that moment. Um, that's making a bad decision because a lot of times they don't think about their queens, they don't think about their children, they don't think about none of that before they make certain decisions. When they interact with other women, right? They don't think about how that's going to affect the woman that they're with. They're not worrying about her feelings. They're not worrying about if they could be walking into a trap. Like, a lot of times in the Midwest, a lot of women would be like, yo, daddy, you sexy. Yo, daddy, you this, that, and that. And the dude would be like going in his head and he'll go to the hotel, think he gonna fuck with her. And then the dudes be in masks waiting on him to rob him and probably kill him. You see what I'm saying? So this is just a different perspective, that I feel that can strengthen godly bonds with humans and their children. And another thing too, we also got to look at something else that's extremely important, and that's the balance and the alignment of masculine and feminine energy and a healed inner child inside each human soul. And I think a lot of times when we talk about masculine and feminine energy, we forget about the inner child every time. That's the trifecta. You can't have masculine and feminine without, I mean, you can have it, but it's not going to be in its true, powerful form without a healed inner child. Every human being on this planet should really consider accomplishing that spiritual union first. Heal your inner child. You know what I mean? A lot of people have masculine energy. A lot of people have feminine energy. They can balance that, back and forth. But they always seem to forget about that inner child. So accomplishing the spiritual union first with the inner child, the masculine and the feminine, before you decide to become unionized with another human being or humans on this earth. And that's something to be able to look at, man. We got to be able to look at different perspectives and different things that actually work out here, in the world, and the things that don't work. You know what I mean? We can't keep on looking at the things that don't work. Right? So what I tell the people is, let me go back and say this. A lot of women feel like that masculine energy is is the best to have. They feel like a man should go in and govern over a woman and things like that. And we have a disagreement with that over here. And our disagreements is based on a lot of factual evidence that I was able to collect by talking and sitting down with the Qs over here. See, over here at Revolut, what people need to understand is that women are comfortable enough to sit down and talk about the internal problems and issues that they had bottled up for so many years inside their soul. I really make it comfortable. I really make it beautiful for them to truly express themselves, have the freedom to express themselves without any type of ridicule, without any type of judgment. Because what we need to be doing is be able to solve the problem. We can't solve a problem if we're making the person the problem, right? It's not the person, it's what happened to the person, right? So I need for that to flow freely in honesty in order for us to be able to make changes that's going to be able to transform lives in the future. And a lot of women out here, spiritual women, they feel like a man should, govern over a woman and this, that, and that. And I just feel like they should just do an experiment. They should let a man control their life, govern over them, govern over their family, govern over their dreams and their community and their future. Do that shit right there and then come back and let us know over here what happened to your ass. We believe in doing the experiment. A lot of people be talking about what this could be and you should do this and you do that. But the thing is, do the experiment. Do the experiment. See what happens. And then come back to us and tell us what happened. And then we'll put that into the research as, something to look forward to be able to learn. Because I truly feel that the woman who calls herself divine feminine, which is actually another word for a female god, has no problem governing herself. And I feel will be more successful than allowing a man she barely even knows to do it for her. The problem that I've constantly seen in the research is women relinquishing their freedom and their independence to unproven men. Men they barely even fucking know, man. And the men haven't even shown they have the ability to lead a family or a woman into godly righteousness. Like, there's no example of that in their life, So I have to be able to look at and really, really look at the research or really, really look at factual evidence if I'm able to heal certain issues that go on with women every single day, especially the ones over here. Because when I look at the research, most men can't even create their own government. Right? Look at the United States. United States is a government, right? They can't create a government to counter the United States government if they have problems with the United States government. They can't create their own and stand on it. You know what I mean? Or even successfully govern over their own lives in a righteous and godly manner. I seen that in the research. A lot of men are like that. And most men can't even govern over an army, let alone a family. Like when I look at a lot of these spiritual teachers and stuff like that, man, I'd be like, where's your army at? I ain't talking about no spiritual army. I'm talking about a physical army that's able to protect you and what you believe in and protect the people that you have in your tribe and have in your community and have in your nation and have in your coalition and your collective. Like, who protects those people, man? You know what I'm saying? Who protects them? I don't see no armies being formed, man. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of talking, but you need an army. Every nation needs an army. Every nation needs an army. Every community needs an army. Every collective needs an army to be able to protect the people. Now, a lot of women will feel like, I know a woman who feels like masculine energy is what governs life and feminine energy expands life, right? Now that sounds beautiful, right? Masculine energy is what governs life and feminine energy expands life. And this is what I was saying about the gender roles, because every single man who has masculine energy is not able to govern life. Every man on this planet is different. We have similarities, right? One of the major similarities we have is the fact that we're breathing and we're alive. But every man can't govern life, and every female can't expand life. There's some females that know how to govern life more than a man, and there's some men that know how to expand life more than females. So that's what I was saying about the gender roles. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I have to look at who's the strongest, we feel like feminine energy governs life and expands life, but we also have to understand that it depends on the individual female. See, a lot of people, when they say females, like I hear people say like women do this and women do that, they are saying it makes it sound like they're saying all women. They're not individualizing themselves. When I hear men on podcasts talking about black men are having it hard and black men, need women to breathe life into them. All black men don't need a woman to breathe life into them. Some black men know how to breathe life into a woman. Some black men out here know how to breathe life into their own fucking self. So we have to get away from putting everybody in this same box and saying that everybody is the same when we're not all the same when it comes to many things that go on this planet. See, when a human being, this is what we believe over here at Revolut, when a human being has a godly alignment and balance with their masculine and feminine energies, along with a healed inner child, they have the godly ability to do for self and won't allow someone else to govern over them. Right? So we do a lot of case studies over here. Right? I'm going to say that again. When a human has a godly alignment and balance with their masculine energies and the masculine and feminine energies, right? Along with a healed inner child, they have the godly ability to do for self and won't allow someone else to govern over them. And that someone should be put in quotations. That someone is like anybody out here in the world. Right? That's the someone. Now, what we do over here is it's like biology class over here. You remember in biology class when you had when you did the dissecting, right? You went to go dissect actual animals and shit, right? That was the beauty of it. You know what I mean? To be in class. Some high schools weren't able to do it. Some high schools can. But those that can understand it can understand what I'm saying. Like there was live like real animals there, and you was dissecting them and you cut them open and all that type of stuff. They were real. So when we do research over here, we look at real situations. We look at people who promote, people who glorify masculine energy, who glorify this type of discussion right here, and we study them. And then we break down their teachings and break down their knowledge and break down their information in order to learn, in order to create cures for traumas, and be able to appreciate a lot of the times what they have learned in order to understand a new perspective about life. Now, here's an experiment. Here's the experiment. Let's look at Nature Boy from Carbonation, right? he had an opportunity to govern over many women. He had that opportunity. Now that some of those women have had the opportunity to enjoy love the way they want to enjoy it, independence and freedom, and experience life without being governed by him, right? We should ask them, or somebody should ask those women, will they ever again allow themselves to be governed by him? Will they ever do it again? And then we'll go get an answer, right? That's a part of like doing the experiment. Like I just can't like speak for certain people like that or whatever. I have to actually do the experiment. He had the opportunity, let's go again. He had the opportunity to govern over women, right? So women left that plantation. They were able to experience freedom. They was able to experience independence, experience life and love, right? For a certain amount of time. They was able to govern over themselves. So if we went back to those people right now and was like, look, if you went back over there, would you ever go back over that plantation and be governed by Nature Boy ever again? And then we'll have an answer. It'll be unequivocal. You know what I'm saying? So that's very important. Those experiments is very important. You know, I looked at like the divine feminine, like I was talking about earlier and stuff when we first started this off and area about the divine feminine and all that. And I just feel like the true divine and godly purpose of a man is to do for a woman and the children what they are temporarily incapable of doing for themselves. The godly man, this is what I teach the Qs over here. The godly man is a teacher, not a governor or a tyrant or a ruler of women and the children. No, that's not what it's about. A godly man teaches them everything he knows so they can be self-sufficient. That's true love right there. To be able to teach somebody, right? Now look at your life right now. Would you rather depend on somebody to give you to feed you every day, right? When you didn't know how to feed yourself, right? Just say you didn't know how to feed yourself. Would you rather somebody feed you every day, right? Or would you rather somebody teach you how to get your own food? Which one would you want? And that answer is going to vary per individual on this planet, per human on this planet, right? But which one is what they say more high vibrational? Because they tell me to do for self, right? They said when you have knowledge of self is the shit, right? It's the most important thing, right? So if you have knowledge of self, then you're going to do for yourself. So doing for yourself means get your own food. Don't depend on somebody else to get the food for you, right? And if you have to depend on somebody, you don't depend on them forever. You depend on them to a point where you can learn how to get your own food so you can take care of yourself. So we believe that true love in that aspect is to teach women and the children to be self-sufficient. Because the godly man, he knows that one day he has to physically leave this earth, right? But when he's gone, what will always remain is what he taught his queen and his heirs. That will remain in their brain. Whether he write it down in scrolls like back in the day, put it in a notebook, put it in a notebook, do an audio book, do a book or whatever it may be, teach it to him from mouth to ear or whatever, like that will remain when he's gone. You see what I'm saying? So, I hope I really hope today, you know what I'm saying, this episode really helped you. Like, I hope this different perspective helps people right now, you know? Because it's like, depending on where you going in your life will determine what kind of life you reflect to the world. Now, you can reflect a stoplight, you can reflect a flashlight, or you can reflect the spotlight. The choice and the decisions always belong to the human being who has the most freedom, the most righteous choices, the most righteous decisions, the most high vibrational choices, the most high vibrational decisions belong to the human being who has freedom and independence to govern over their motherfucking self. You understand? Think about that. Now, I'm going to add this. I'm going to add this before we end this tonight. Male and females have masculine energy inside their souls, right? We all know this. And it's unremovable. You know what I'm saying? Now, it could be lowered or it could be turned off for a moment depending on certain situations. But most men out here, you know, as we keep hearing over and over in this just trendful shit that's going on now, is that they don't want or like a woman with masculine energy. So I have to ask myself, like me and the Cukes talk about, like, I have to ask myself, like, why? Why? Why you don't like a woman with masculine energy? Why you don't like a woman with feminine energy and masculine, and you have feminine energy and masculine? What would be the reason? Right? I believe that when I teach the Qs, I believe the masculine energy allows a woman to hold a man accountable for his unrighteous behavior. And it allows a woman to do things a man won't do for her. So if a man feels like he doesn't want to, just say her kids is in the backyard and there's raccoons around, right? And just say it needs to be a fence put up. Somebody needs to build a fence. Just say the man is mad one day because she didn't give him no pussy or whatever it is he mad about. He doesn't want to fix that fence. The masculine energy inside of a woman will fix that fence her motherfucking self. She'll go, if she has the information, right? So if she's been taught it, she's going to go out there and do it herself, which that means, that's what I'm talking about, the freedom and independence part. She's going to fix the fence her motherfucking self and be like, fuck that dude and get it done. Men don't want that. They don't want the woman to do for herself. Now, I'm not saying all men, but majority of them, and a lot of them don't want the woman to be able to do for herself. They want to be like a slave master. They want to be like, if I can't do it for you, you don't need to have it type of shit, which is fucked up. That thinking right there is a crime against humanity. No man should be thinking like that. Now, let's go back and think about it. All right? If all the women who's listening to this right now, man, just take the time and look into your personal life. You've done a lot of manly things around the house. When there was no man present, you accomplished certain duties and tasks, right? You know what I'm saying? And even though women who agree with the man governing and all that type of governing over life, like, you've been governing over your own life since you were a teenager, probably. When you have freedom, when you have independence, you were taking care of yourself. A lot of women was leaving the house at 15, 16 years old, taking care of their motherfucking self, man. You know? So you have to look into your life, man, and understand that at some point in your life, you were governing yourself. See, they want me to believe that it's natural law or it's godly law or it's absolute truth that a man is supposed to govern over a woman. Like, that's just natural. It's just the nature of a man, and it's not. Because if it was the nature of a man, he would do it all the time and won't stop doing it and won't have no mistakes. And women wouldn't be able to do it themselves if it's natural. They wouldn't have that power. It would be a gender role situation, like I was saying before. Women would just know how to do one thing, and men would just know how to do one thing. But as we see in the world, and as you see in your own life, women can do masculine things. They can build that fence. They can paint them walls. All that shit. Right? Now, if you look, women who's listening tonight, if you looked for what you accomplished for yourself and your children when you have freedom and independence, just look at what you accomplished. When you have freedom and independence, what did you accomplish for yourself and what did you accomplish for your children? Just think about your own personal life right now. And if you really, really is honest with yourself, you've surpassed a lot of men when you have freedom and independence. See, I don't think a lot of women understand what the definition of govern is. When they say that a man should govern over me, or a man is the government, or he should be the governor over this. I don't think they understand what that definition is. And let me give you the definition real quick. To govern is to control, is to direct, is to strongly influence the actions and conduct of another human being. That's what it is. Now, shouldn't a human being, whether they are male or female, have the godly right to do that for themselves? Shouldn't they be able to govern over themselves, to control their own lives, to direct their own lives, to strongly influence the actions and conduct of themselves? Is that more high vibrational instead of someone they barely even know to do it for them? Think about that. And that's how we're going to end it today on A REVO Perspective. Y'all have a good day. Y'all have a good night wherever you is in the world. And we'll talk again soon.